Dealing with poverty, disease and ignorance was the vision of the founding fathers for post-independence Kenya. And as Kenya turns 60 today, has the country lived up to that vision? Surfin Achieng Ouma looks at the twists and turns in Kenya's history, the governance and social structures that threatened the realization of that dream of our founding fathers and the modern-day challenges that have trapped the country in the dark days of colonialism.
When Kenya got independence in 1963, the pioneer president Mzee Jomo Kenyatta declared war on three key issues: poverty, disease and ignorance, the pillars of the vision of the founding fathers for post-independence Kenya. To eliminate ignorance, the plan was to ensure that every Kenyan child is educated.
I have altogether managed and built over 300 schools, paid and controlled, financed by my people.
From the 7423 system of education to the 844 system to the 2663 system under the competency-based curriculum, Kenya's fight to kick out ignorance is captured in the journey of seeking reforms in the education sector, which spans about 6 decades, a journey that is unfortunately far from over.
Other issues that have been raised is also then the quality, the relevance of this education and how it is actually serving our country in terms of solving the everyday problems that we are having.
The world is changing. It's becoming increasingly globalized. So you can no longer just be confined to your village or your district. You need the kind of skills going to make it possible for you to work anywhere in Africa and anywhere in the world. In the absence of that, of course, we are training our kids for hopelessness.
Another barrier to access to education in the colonial Kenya was the segregated system of schooling, where European, Asian and black Kenyan children went to different schools. Kenya today celebrates the liberalization of education sector through the abolition of segregation in schooling and the rollout of free primary education in 2003. However, the racial segregation has been replaced by economic segregation.
When we talk about what has been done by the past 2 presidents is something we can applaud. It's something that we now need to build upon. But what we are seeing today is something totally different. We are seeing education becoming a preserve for the rich.
President William Ruto, in his Jamhuri Day speech, acknowledged that the country's GDP has grown by up to 5.4% in the last 6 months. The real impact of this economic growth is, however, yet to be fully realized by thousands of Kenyans still living below the poverty line, struggling to attain economic freedom 60 years since Kenya attained independence.
We have Kenyans who cannot afford a meal. We are still talking of hunger in this century. As we have grown the economy, we have also exacerbated inequalities.
Experts are also warning against what they term as modern-day colonization through punitive tax structures and levies.
Issues to do with taxes and creating barrier after barrier for a young Kenyan to survive has been the order of the day. If we talk about a proposal to have IDs registration and renewal at in 3 to 4 digits, 1,000s and 2,000s. This could be a sunrise of dark days for this country, and we need to make sure that that does not happen.
Transformation of the health sector has also remained a top agenda for every regime, yet some inefficiencies and inequalities that characterize the system right from the time of independence still exist, challenges that have made the burden of disease heavier for Kenyans.
There is still a lot that needs to be done in terms of financing, the healthcare financing, in terms of the quality healthcare, in terms of equipment, in terms of drugs, in terms of even having the right number of doctors, patient ratio, the nurses.
The passionate vision of the founding fathers has also been muzzled by poor governance structures and ills like corruption and hunger for power.
The dream of creating a nation that was prosperous, those dreams were soon confronted by the nightmares of nepotism, of corruption, of ethnicity, and sometimes of personal rule, and aspects, of course, of authoritarianism.
And so, what will it take for the country to get back on track?
We are not going to have our history written for us again. And for us to do that, we must seize the opportunity, take the initiative, and ensure that we write the next chapter of the great Kenyan story.
Safin Achieng Omar, Citizen TV.